What is up, everyone? My name is Matt, and this is my review of LEGO's Viking Village. This is set number 21343. It includes 2,103 pieces and retails for an amazingly reasonable $130 here in the US. LEGO's Viking Village is one of the best values available right now. We can thank the very talented LEGO fan designer known as Brickhammer for his submission to LEGO Ideas. This awesome set's going to be available at LEGO stores and Target here in the US, but outside the US, it can be found anywhere LEGOs are sold. Brickhammer's original submission includes all the main components we see here, although his original version includes the single-piece molded rope bridge from some of those older vintage pirate sets that I absolutely love. The final version available from LEGO includes a slightly warmer color palette. Those warmer colors and the plant life we see here, like the snow-covered trees, make the set feel just a little bit more warm and lifelike to my eyes, and I think beautiful. The build is divided into a few large structures: a blacksmith hut, a longhouse, and a tall tower connected to an open watchtower. And super impressively, all of the pattern details we see here are printed pieces. There are no stickers in this set. This village took me maybe a few hours to build while watching nerdy Minecraft videos, and it was a pretty fun build. LEGO breaks this set up into a few large chunks, so this is a really great set to build with a friend. The balance here between the sort of rocky environment and the interiors and the buildings and the sort of log exteriors keep things feeling interesting to me. You're sort of going back and forth between interior and exterior. You're not getting too bored with rocks or anything like that, although I personally enjoy big, beautiful rock pieces. It's really super fun and satisfying when you're able to start clipping all these pieces together and forming this island of Viking awesomeness. Although I do want to call out, the way that these pieces clip together is not the standard way that some of the other like modular sets like Eldorado Fortress clip together. The way that those handle it is that when they clip together, because of the pieces used and the way they're attached and built into the base, you can easily take them apart and put them back together again. So in the case of Eldorado Fortress, that means that you can combine them in lots of different ways. That is not the case with the Viking Village. Don't think that this is like a modular set you're gonna move pieces around. It's got one way to go together. The attachments LEGO used here and the way that they built them into the body means that they will happily self-destruct if you start pulling things apart. Now let's take a closer look at these buildings to see what LEGO has included. We'll start with the Blacksmith Hut here on the left, and she has helpfully put a hammer above the doorway here, maybe as a sign to other people so that they know that she's a blacksmith, or maybe to grab, so just in case other Vikings or the English or something try to roll up on her, she can grab that thing and start going to town on them. The removable roof looks great with these crossing beams at the top, and inside the hut we can see a nice little fireplace with some bellows to keep those flames roaring. We've got a small anvil on top of a log, a bucket of water, and more tools and armor on the far side of the building beside the window. That fireplace looks even better from the outside with some really nice studs knot on top, or snot techniques, allowing for those really great angles on the outside, and it's also got some curly smoke coming up from the top. I really like that a lot. There's a small evergreen tree behind the building with snow on the top made from those great new fern pieces in dark green and white. Out in front of the building along the shoreline, we have one more snowy tree using different pieces there, and a stone marker of some kind showing what looks like possibly some kind of like winged Viking dragon named Trogdor the Burninator. I don't know if that's true, but maybe. Switching over to the far right side, we've got a two-story tower of some kind. I really love the way those stone steps sort of like meander and wind up to the front door of the tower. That looks amazing. I'm a really big sucker, honestly, for any time LEGO incorporates those sideways stairs into things. They just look amazing. They looked really great in the Lion Knight's castle, and they look equally great here. The thatched roof, decorative corner pieces, and the log columns all look really great and give this tower a lot of texture. And if we rotate it around to the backside, we can see those amazing details around the tower windows. Also on the backside, there's a little cave here. There's nothing really in there, so it's just enough room for 2 or 3 of the minifigures to enjoy each other's company during low tide, you know, whatever. One of the tower walls is removable, and that interior includes a side table with a lamp and some kind of bread, or maybe like a giant bar of soap? I don't know. There's a pumpkin inside the main room of the tower and a ladder that climbs up to an elevated rope bridge. And let me just say, I think this rope bridge looks really nice. It looks great, but I really miss the old super cool single piece molded plastic rope bridge that you'd see on the vintage like castle and pirate sets. It's the same piece that Brickhammer used in his original submission, and it looked great there, and I would love to see it make a glorious return one day if LEGO ever got serious again about pirates and castles. The watchtower is built up on top of this rock formation and includes a great printed shield and some really cool flags. We can also see that Ingrid has been fishing off the dock here in between cups of mead and has caught 2 fish. One that looks like it's maybe made of metal, and one that might be radioactive, I don't know. The printed tiles on the front of the meat barrels look really great and show Trogdor again in all his glory. I still can't believe we're getting all these printed pieces in this set. The largest building is the Chieftain's Longhouse, and things seem to be going pretty well for the Chief because this building is fire. I mean, literally, there's like 6 fire pieces in this building. The Chief is not taking any chances this winter. The very impressive roof uses 4 long printed tiles on the front and back, and these great sculptural gold details on each end. My favorite nice part usage by far in this set has to be these beautiful golden sausages used as decorative details on this elevated roof vent. I mean, how could you not love that? The thatched roof is partially covered in snow, and we can remove that roof for a much better view inside this longhouse. There's a long fire pit running down the middle of this building with a spit above so that the Vikings can cook. There's a side table on one of the walls with a huge, like, Renaissance fair turkey drumstick and a big cup of what I assume is Ingrid's mead. There's a shield, a spear, and an axe inside along one of the walls, and the Chieftain's throne sits at the far end of this room. The throne looks great, and it's flanked by 2 banners in red and white to sort of match the flag you can see outside on the watchtower. There's also 2 log side tables that include yet another cup of mead. Wow, this guy knows how to throw a party. The gold details we see along the roofline add some really great texture to what's already a really dense build, and the gold continues outside on the windows. I'm really impressed with all the very detailed interiors and exteriors that we see on all these buildings for this price, but the longhouse in particular looks especially nice. There are 4 minifigures that come in the set, and they are the Chieftain, the Blacksmith, an Archer, and a Fighter / Mead Maker, maybe named Ingrid. The Chieftain is dressed for battle with a woven leather chest piece, all these belts, and a crazy like spiked shoulder pad. His really great printing extends down to his legs, which are made of like leather or light colored fabric, and additional straps that are sort of wrapping around his knees. The Chieftain has a gray beard, and his eyes feel just a little bit too close together when he's got his helmet on, unfortunately. But that helmet looks extremely authentic, obviously, with his 2 big horns on the side, as we all know Viking helmets had. The Chieftain gets a sword so comically long that I feel like embarrassed for him, honestly. But he does have a really cool shield that's green and yellow. Turning the Chief around, we can see that his chest printing extends all the way around to the back, but he does only come with 1 facial expression, as all of these minifigures do. Now for the Blacksmith, who comes with a decorated leather apron and these cool boots and her face that tells us that she absolutely loves using that hammer. Wow. She also comes with a paintbrush to customize everyone's tools and a great reddish brown hairpiece with a really nice braid on it. Coming down from the tower now is the Archer, who's wearing a green jacket with a fur collar and some quilted chest protection of some kind, and some kind of like printed leather loincloth maybe? I don't know, did Vikings wear loincloths? He also has a super authentic Viking helmet with angled horns, and of course comes with a bow and a quiver full of arrows. None of these minifigs get printed arms, unfortunately, but the leg printing is great, and the chest prints extend around to the back on all 4 of these minifigs. Lastly, we've got Ingrid, the Fighter / Mead Maker. It's a hobby for now. And she is decked out in metal armor with this chainmail on her legs. The Blacksmith kicked some dirt in Ingrid's eye because they don't like each other, maybe because Ingrid didn't pay for that armor. And she's also got this really cool big axe and a shield that's painted like the one we see over on the watchtower. Ingrid's blonde hair looks really great from the front and even better from the back, where we can see all the details in that braid and the other half of her vest and belt. For a retail price of $130, I think this set is a steal. It's a great size that's not really huge and not too tiny, and it looks great on display. I think most people will be able to find a place for this in their house and it'll look great there. And unlike some display sets, this one looks really great in the round. You can turn it around at any angle and it looks fantastic all the time. Now, if you compare the set to other more recent display sets with like historic pasts like the Lion Knight's Castle or the Eldorado Fortress, obviously I don't think this wins. But both of those sets are a lot more expensive than this set. Eldorado Fortress is beautiful and $400. And Eldorado Fortress is also beautiful, smaller, for $215. If you're a fan of Vikings, or you just like some of LEGO's more historic past sets, then I think you're gonna love this one, and you should totally pick it up. Kudos to Brickhammer for designing this beautiful set, and to the LEGO designers who adapted it. I think it's beautiful. Later, nerds!